Good evening, everyone. It's May 24th, 2019. I'm Eric. I'm here at paulcraigroberts.org. He's a former, I want to say Treasury Secretary or something like that. But he's a doctor. He knows his shit. I've been listening to and reading his stuff for quite some time now. There will be some names that I cannot pronounce in here. I'm not Mexican. I do not speak Spanish, even though I am a great deal Spanish. Not Mexican, but Spanish. I grew up here and I speak English, so there's that. If you like my content, though, you can give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. The assault on whiteness is now part of official educational policy. In New York City, the head of the education department, Richard Carranza, a son of a Mexican immigrant, is conducting a campaign against toxic white supremacy culture. His training program for teachers identifies objectivity, individualism, belief in meritocracy, and Protestant work ethic as manifestations of white supremacy that have to be rooted out of the education system. These white values constitute a deep-rooted bigotry. He dismisses whites who object to his portrayal of their values as racially biased, as defensive of white supremacy culture. To get rid of bias, he says that has fired numerous white education department officials. So it's legal for them to discriminate against white people. Okay? A lot of people really don't believe what I'm saying about the very real possibility, and I think probability, that white people this summer, especially in certain places, are going to have a hell of a time. They're going to be randomly attacked, and so on and so forth. And hopefully time doesn't prove me right, but I do believe it will. Clearly, white liberals are once again the victims of their delusions. They took a Mexican immigrant, gave him a public school and university education, made him superintendent of Houston public schools, and then put him in charge of New York City schools at a $345,000 annual salary, only to have him dismantle their policy of color blindness and replace it with identity politics. Carranza intends to liberate people from the inherent insidiousness of white culture and replace it with fact-based knowledge with emotion, and replace fact-based knowledge with emotion-based knowledge. And that's not even knowledge at that point. It's just emotion, right? Now, before I go any further, it's probably worth noting that white people, specifically European white people, have made incredible contributions to our world. And it is that same work ethic they are talking about in this, what's his name, Costanza or some shit like that, that enabled us to conquer pretty much the entire world at one time, right? See, their hatred is really about envy. That's what it all boils down to. Their races were unable to do what our race, the white European race, has been able to do. And, it's white supremacy now. So there's that. And look, I have some black subscribers. I don't have a problem with black folks or even Mexicans, except for, the fucking mariachi music and all that. That aside, I really don't have a problem. I don't fucking care what color you are. I don't. In other words, the diversity and multiculturalism for which white liberals were advocates have now turned against the white culture that welcomed them. And that's exactly right. They're turning against the people that's been trying to help them. The attack on whiteness doesn't differentiate between white genders. All whites are the enemy, but white males get a double dose of hate, because women have turned on them also. And they have. A lot of them anyway. And look, once they go that way, don't take their fucking asses back. They can live in places that with some time will end up resembling Haiti or Congo or some other fucked up place. So there's that. Thus there is disunity among white genders, leaving whites unable to present a common front against their opponents. Illinois State Representative Diana Papaz says the solution to unwanted pregnancies and abortions is to castrate men. The men would have the option prior to castration of having their semen stored so that when there was a decision to have children, the semen could be taken out of storage. Laura Carlson, a gender consultant and women's advocate, writes in Counterpunch, Volume 26, Number 1, that White describes the racism directed at all non-white peoples, and nationalism refers to the territorial aspirations of whites for their own country. White males, Carlson claims, have a meticulously cultivated sense of entitlement to women and their womb to pump out blue-eyed babies. Ku Klux Klan, neo-Confederate, neo-Nazi, racist, skinhead, Christian identity, anti-Semitic, anti-immigrant are characteristics of white nationalists. It is okay for Jews, blacks, Asians, and Hispanics to have their own countries, but not white Gentiles. The insanity that has taken over in the United States is also going on in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Europe. For example, the President of the European Commission, Jean-Claude Juncker, has denounced British, French, German, Italian, Hungarian, Polish, and other Europeans as stupid nationalists who are in love with their own countries. Instead of this ethnic selfishness, Europeans should welcome massive non-European immigration and cease to exist as unified ethnic nationalities. Yeah. In France, as in most of Europe, it is dangerous for a person of French French nationality to utter a critical word about black or Arab immigrants. The fact that the white government or governments have taken the side of non-white migrants against their white citizens has emboldened non-white migrants in acts of violence and hatred toward European whites. For example, in France, the black rapper Nick Conrad has made a video of himself raping I fuck France, I burn France, as he symbolically strangles a white woman representing France. And you don't think we're going to be you don't think we're going to be attacked? I've gone through the different levels of genocide And we're definitely in those levels. There's no question about that. Now, if you try to imagine this in racial reverse, with a white man symbolically strangling a black woman, according to this report, the video preaching racial hatred has not been taken down by Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Twitter, which proves the often made point that the New World Order of identity politics, only white people can be guilty of hate speech. It is a most amazing thing that the exceptional people of the indispensable country, who, according to the Zionist neocons, deserve to exercise hegemony over the world, are unable to even exercise hegemony in their own country. I got something else for you here. Hold on 1 second. Now, I wanted to cover this on May 20th, but for some reason it got past me, so I'll go ahead and cover it now. This is what happens when you try to do the right thing by people who don't share your beliefs, meaning they don't think what you're doing is the right thing. They're just taking advantage of you. Merkel's Germany, migrant repays host family by repeatedly stabbing their 11-year-old son and shouting, "Die, die, die." The boy's mother said, "We've always helped." I'm not even going to try to say that dude's name. "We do not understand why he did this to us." And well, it's very easy, because they don't have the same values and morals. They think you're an infidel, and they think you should die. Now, I didn't want to get into the whole identity politics thing because, well, then people can start calling me a racist. But I'm a white person, okay? I have white children, a white wife, and, well, I can't rightfully take anyone's side but the side that I am, right? Especially since we're not in the wrong. If we were neo-Nazis, as they claim, there wouldn't be very many of them, would there? I mean, come on. Would neo-Nazis, you know what, I'm not even going to justify our existence. The fact of the matter is, white people have undoubtedly, with no doubt, contributed more to the building of our civilization than probably all other races. Yes, other cultures were great. Don't get me wrong. Chinese culture has been around for a very long time. But look how unfree those people are. And we're getting near that point now. And it's because we've allowed other ethnic people take over, and they're doing what's in their best interest. And that's only natural, right? And meanwhile, white people are doing everything they can to destroy themselves. It really needs to stop. It really does. We are dying at the fastest rate right now, white males. Our birth rates have plummeted. I can just go on and on and on. The attacks, the random attacks, knockout games, these things, they've all increased. Meanwhile, You have what do you call them, media companies like CNN saying white supremacy groups have been on the rise in the last few years. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. They have not. Anyway. And I guess in some ways Trump has tried to stop it, but unfortunately for Donald Trump, this shit is just too big for him. The deep state, the military-industrial complex, it's all too big for him. Even if he wanted to, which he doesn't, not fully, even if he wanted to, he can't fix this. The only people that can fix it is the citizens. That's it. My wife, she goes to work every day, and she has to hear about her fucking white privilege of some mean, vindictive black woman shooing every white person in that place out. I'm telling you. And there's a lot of people who feel this way. White privilege. Yeah, I'm so privileged I get to climb under my fucking truck and pull out the tranny myself. I don't get to take it to the garage. You know, I have to do that shit. So, there's my privilege. Anyway, there's a couple more I saw. And again, I've been trying to get away or not talk about the race crap, but it's getting to be pretty bad. So, anyway, hope you all have a good evening. I said the last one would be my final one. I saw that article by Paul Craig Roberts and thought I would jump on it. Next week is going to be a long work week for me, so the videos will be minimal next week. And I still have to get the rest of my arm covered here. I got part of the tattoo done, and the rest of it's got to get done though. So I might, I will at least do one a day, at least, if not two. Thank you to all of my supporters on PayPal. I really appreciate you looking out for me. I can't tell you how many times, I think it's a few, at least 4 times, that a surprise on my PayPal has bailed me out in some way, shape, or form. So there's that. Till next time, people, kill the state, live free.